This is Rob Tubber for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted to be joined here by Frank Smith. It's the morning after the night before in Las Vegas, following Tyson Fury's 7th round stoppage win over Deontay Wilder. How you doing, Frank?
Very good, mate. Yourself?
All good, all good. Nice to see you. When did you get out to Vegas?
I got here late Friday night and, came over for the fight. And apparently loads of other stuff I came over for. Came over to make the Wilder Fury Joshua fight, apparently.
Did you?
Apparently so.
Who said that?
That's what I got. That's why I'm apparently here. Apparently, me and Freddie Cunningham came out here. So they said, why were they going out there? It's just because we like Vegas, to be honest. It was a good excuse to go to Vegas, wasn't it?
I didn't know Freddie Cunningham was here. It'd be good to get an interview with him.
He's actually laying on the couch just over there, watching ice hockey and pretending to do work.
So I assume that when we're done, that me and him will catch up. But anyway, moving on. Tyson Fury's win over Deontay Wilder last night. What did you make of his performance?
Brilliant, sensational. Did everything he said he'd do, didn't he? He smashed it. Very impressive. What did you think?
I thought it was sensational as well. We've heard all the talk about the week about him going in there and putting it on Wilder and knocking him out. I don't think anybody believed it, but that's what happened.
Yeah, no, I got to be honest. I didn't think he'd do that, but he went in there, he did the job, and he delivered, and really sort of caused Wilder serious problems throughout, didn't he? I think everyone, the night as a whole was brilliant. Apart from I went in there for the main event, but the atmosphere in there was great. I think there was like 10,000 Brits in there. So yeah, great for the sport of boxing.
Were you surprised at how often Tyson was able to hurt Wilder throughout the fight? It seemed to me like he was hurting him with pretty much every shot he threw from the opening bell.
Yeah, for someone as he said, like, you know how people say that he hasn't really ever done that before. For him to go out there and do what he did, very impressive, especially with the way Wilder is such a big puncher and it's so risky to go in and do that. He did, like you say, he did everything he said he was going to do, which everyone thought he's never going to do that, and he delivered. But he's very good, isn't he, at all these mind games, everything he does, everything in the lead up, he's very good at it, and he's back world champ again.
Is this a good result for Matchroom or fans of Matchroom and Anthony Joshua? Is this a good result for you?
I think it's good for the sport of boxing, especially for British boxing. It's great. I've said in the past, I always thought that as an undisputed fight, an American v a Brit from a global scale is the biggest fight. But both any of them, this is a huge event. If we can make it happen, Joshua against Fury, it's a huge event, and yeah, great for the sport of boxing. And boxing is already in a great place in the UK, but this just adds to it.
When you say that a Brit versus an American for the undisputed title, well, obviously it's not going to be that now because Tyson Fury won. But considering his kind of jaunting with the WWE and everything that went with that, and obviously last night we saw the Nevada gate broken for a heavyweight title fight. Does it matter that it's two Brits now? Tyson Fury is arguably, profile-wise, surely bigger than Deontay Wilder now.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying from a global perspective, a British guy fighting an American guy for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world is, probably bigger across the world. But like you say, Tyson Fury, he's a superstar. He went in there, he did the job. As you say, sold out MGM Garden last night. I'm sure it did great numbers as well on TV. So, it's a huge fight between the two guys. They're the two biggest names, I'd say, in boxing, along with the likes of Canelo, etc. But it's going to be a huge fight, that one.
Had Eddie straight out into the media after the fight talking about an undisputed fight and making that undisputed fight next. Is that kind of disregarding Kubrat Pulev, or is that literally the next fight?
No, I think Eddie said, I saw some bits that he came out, I think it was on TalkSport, that if Wilder doesn't exercise his option for the rematch, then we'll try and make the fight happen straight away. Obviously, Kubrat Pulev is promoted by Bob Arum. Tyson Fury is promoted by Bob Arum. So there's a possibility of making that work, but there's a lot of things that have to fit into place to make that happen. But if we can, that's the fight AJ wants. It's the biggest fight out there.
You mentioned the rematch clause. Obviously, coming into this fight, we were told about a second fight, a third fight, which is contractually agreed. Can you see Deontay Wilder invoking that rematch clause, considering how one-sided the fight was last night?
Yes, because I think it's just like you could say AJ when he fought Ruiz. He went in there, he had the rematch. I'm sure in Fury's mind, in Wilder's mind, he believes, he'll believe he can go in there and, he's always got that big punch. He'll believe he can go in there and get the win. So I'm sure he would. But who knows? You never know what happens in this sport of boxing. Everything, lots of surprises around the corner. But I think he's got 30 days to figure out if he wants to do it. I think he will, personally.
Why?
Because it's his one loss. He's lost once, and he'll want the opportunity to go back out there and win his belts back. I'd guess. I'm not a boxer. I've never lost a fight.
I was going to say, you have fought. You're an unbeaten fighter.
Yes, I haven't been through that feeling of losing, so I don't know what it's like to have lost a fight. But in the fashion he lost in, yeah, he might want to go away and he might want to go away and have a warm up fight. I doubt that though. He's 40-1, 40 wins, 1 loss now. I think he'll just want to go straight back in there and try and win his belt back.
What did you make of the stoppage? Obviously, we saw the towel come in from Mark Breland last night. Spoke to Jay Diaz after the fight. He said that he didn't agree with that. What did you think?
I think it was correct. I haven't watched it. I saw, I wasn't really close, but from what I could see, the way Wilder was throughout that fight, I think the decision was right, and it could have been even earlier. He didn't look steady throughout the fight, after he first got put down. So yeah, I think it was the correct decision, And the cornermen they've got a hard, his trainer's got a hard decision to make. And at the end of the day, he's doing the right thing. He'd rather it was stopped early. It's obviously very difficult. Wilder's the kind of person who wants to go out on their shield, but I think they made the right decision. And I think it's wrong for the other, one member of the team to question the other about what they did, because at the end of the day, it's their safety and they have to make a hard call. So you have to respect him for making that decision.
We caught up with Eddie a couple of weeks back. He said that he was hoping Tyson Fury would win the fight because he sees Fury versus Anthony Joshua as an easier fight to make than Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely.
Where does Dillian Whyte fit into this whole situation? We saw him reply to one of Eddie's tweets this morning just to remind him that he's the WBC mandatory challenger, while Eddie is obviously trying to get this undisputed fight over the line.
Will you stop making noise over there?
Where does Dillian Whyte fit into this?
Dillian Whyte is obviously looking. He's got a fight coming up in May time. Obviously, he has earned his right to fight for the belt, and I think we have to make it all work. I think obviously no one will stand in the way if we can make Joshua against Fury happen. I don't think anyone will stand in the way. And also after that, after the two Brits fighting for the Undisputed Championship, then to go on and fight Dillian Whyte for that belt, whoever the winner is, that is a massive fight as well. So, heavyweight boxing is all about the UK right now, and you got Dillian Whyte who's there, who's there waiting in the wings, and he'll get his opportunity for sure.
Spoke to Mauricio Sullivan, obviously the WBC president, earlier on this week. He said that he would be interested in making, or he would certainly be open to the concept of Dillian Whyte versus Alexander Povetkin for the WBC Diamond title. Is that realistic?
He's the interim champion, so I'm not sure what Diamond interim. The interim champion is a belt in its own right. So yeah, I'm sure he'll fight for probably the interim title. Not sure the interim and Diamond.
Following on the back of last night, as I mentioned, it was a huge success at the gate. We're still a little bit early to find out pay-per-view numbers and all of those interesting things. Where does this put Tyson Fury among commercially in the division? Obviously, we've got Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz just fought in Saudi. Big commercial success. Where does Tyson Fury lie in the division with regards to that?
Look, he is a big draw. People would just look at me as biased. Anthony Joshua has changed the sport of boxing, I would say, over the years. He has been a big part of why boxing is where it is, in the UK and globally. He's done huge numbers, and the one thing I'll say about AJ, he has a following of people who will come for AJ. It's not necessarily just the fight that matters. This guy's sold 80,000, 90,000, 80,000. No one else has done that. But look, Tyson Fury is a huge star. That fight is a huge fight. I still think Anthony Joshua commercially is a bigger name. So yeah, but it's a huge fight between the two of them.
Just mentioned that rematch in Saudi Arabia. I rewatched the fight this morning. I saw Omar Khalil and Big K, Prince Khalid, were ringside last night. Have you caught up with them since you've been there?
Yeah, I saw them. I was with them yesterday afternoon. Just been with them just now. We're doing a lot of work with them, with the guys there. So with Omar and the Big K, as you say, the Big Prince Khalid. So yeah, we're doing a lot of work with them. Just been with them. They're very excited about lots of opportunities we're working on out in Saudi.
Anything that you can divulge?
No. Like everyone think I'm the quiet one out of Eddie and I. Eddie's the one that you'll get more out of. I'm the one who, I'll get in trouble otherwise if I start spreading secrets. So.
Fair enough. Wouldn't want to see you get in trouble. We've obviously seen Frank Warren's comments following the fight last night. Said words. I mean, I don't know. It's not an exact quote, but words to the effect of, for a fight between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury should get 70% of the pot. What do you think of that?
I think he's just on a wind-up, to be honest. Quite funny, though, isn't it? I think probably 50-50 is what everyone would say. But, everyone's got an opinion on these things, haven't they? It will come down to the fighters and making the fight happen. But 70-30 is quite a lot.
We saw last night and throughout Fight Week, PBC, so ESPN and Fox joining together to make this a really huge fight and a massive event. By all accounts, I've spoken to journalists who work for ESPN. They've said that it's gone really, really well, very, very smooth. Does that give us all hope, not just in America, but obviously back home for a Fury versus Joshua fight, BT, Sky Sports getting together?
Yeah, look, there's lots of things. I think there's a lot of things we have to work through, There's tons of things that go into putting on an event across the board when you're working with another party to deliver an event, on a co-promotion. It's not the easiest thing always to do. But I'm sure everyone can sit down in a room. It's been done before in other big events, like you say, ESPN, Fox. You had it with HBO and Showtime when Mayweather and Pacquiao fought. You had it with HBO and Showtime where Klitschko fought Joshua at Wembley. So I'm sure we can work through a lot of things. There's going to be a lot of different items that there's going to be stumbling blocks, I'm sure, on. But hopefully we will do everything we can to make this fight happen because, as I say, it's the biggest fight out there in world boxing.
Okay, before I let you go, out of nothing else but pure morbid curiosity, what's going on with Alexander Usyk?
You'll have news very soon on him. Big fight. I'm sure a lot of people know.
Derek Chisora?
Apparently. Is that who he's fighting?
I don't know, Frank. You tell me. That's how it works.
Nothing to do with me.
No?
You keep trying to edge secrets out of me, don't you? It's easier if you say it and I'll go, well, possibly. That's a good fight.
Is Usyk fighting Chisora?
That's a great fight. If Usyk fights Chisora, that's a great fight. I like that. You just change your tone as well into is Usyk fighting Chisora? Let's see soon.
We wait with bated breath.
Lost weight. You can't see him off camera. He's either had a shave or lost weight.
You're looking definitely a shave. Actually, to be fair, I've lost about half a stone since Saudi because I've become vegetarian.
Have you? Is that from Eddie boring you about it?
No, Eddie bores me about a lot of things. It doesn't make me change my diet. But basically in Saudi, a lot of the meats that we were eating in Saudi were very salty and rich meat. And I got back and I decided that I needed to change something. So I actually started as a vegan for 3 weeks. But I've got a daughter who eats nothing but cheesy pasta. And it was a bit too tempting around the house. So there we go. That's my dietary update. Yeah. Well,
thanks for the. You could have just left it at the vegetarian bit, but
Well, I'm listening to Eddie Hearn tell everybody about his vegan exploits.
So boring. when he went on about his vegan life, he was very boring at that point in his life. So, well, it's good to see you looking well and healthy because you do a lot of travelling. Like myself, we have to make good decisions.
We certainly do. And with that, the very interesting Frank Smith is going to leave us. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Never sarcasm from me. I'm going to sit down with Freddie Cunningham now.
Good luck with that one, mate.